Hi, this is Adrian from the Group 5, and now me and my group will be discussing about the spiral theory. Well, I know that the shell comes up in your mind first when you heard about the spiral because of its shape and its pattern. But here we will be discussing about the spiral silence theory. And I know that you're excited about it, so let's go ahead and discuss this one for you. So, Elizabeth Noelle-Neumann, a German political scientist, proposed a spiral of silence theory, which has since proven to be one of the most extensively researched theories in the field of communication psychology. The spiral of silence theory states that we are more willing to communicate our ideas to others if we believe that most people in the group holds the same view. That is, if we believe that our opinion is in line with the perceived majority opinion. On the other hand, if we think that our opinion is different from the perceived majority opinion, we are more likely to remain silent about what we think. Spiral of silence is a theory that asserts that people's propensity to voice their thoughts on divisive social topics is influenced by their largely unconscious impression of those opinions as being either popular or unpopular. Particularly the sense of one's opinions, popularity tends to have the opposite effect of that of its perceived unpopularity, which tends to discourage or stifle one's expression of it. A striking infographic to electoral research done during 1965, a German federal election campaign resulted to the spiral of silence theory. The spiral of silence theory contends that most people continually watch other people's behavior for indication of approval or disapproval because they have the natural, unconscious dread of social isolation. People can also threaten isolation by acting in ways like criticizing, ignoring, scowling at, laughing, and other actions most of the time unintentionally. People prefer to hold back from openly expressing their opinions on contentious issues when they believe doing so will result to criticism, derision, laughter, or other expression of disapproval in order to avoid being alone. So here's some examples of it. Humans have strong reason to be mindful of whether expressing our opinions can be a poor choice, considering that we are social animals. Cohesive groupings frequently share common viewpoints. Anyone who expresses an unpopular opinion runs the risk of being excluded from social situations or even being shunned altogether. This might be due to actual repercussion like job loss or even legal repercussion. Those who hold unfavorable opinions could repress them in order to fit in. Well, there are mismatches between the political opinions people express and the votes they cast. The media and public opinion have a major impact on this. Public perception of something. Some incredibly unexpected voting result, such as the 1992 United Kingdom general election, the 2016 EU referendum, and the 2016 US presidential election, can be partially explained by spiral of silence. When the opinion of a few team members are voiced in a meeting at work carries the conversation, the supporters may shout loudly and repeatedly arguments, immediately refute other people's ideas. Responses from other participants are dismissed, criticized, ridiculed, disapproved of, and so on. So, what happens when the spiral is set in motion? So, people who notice that their opinion has little support hide it. People who feel endorsed in their opinion continue sharing it with confidence. Loud opinions on one side and quiet voices on the other trigger the spiral of silence. Those who represent the supported opinions talk more while others remain silent. The loudest opinion is perceived as the majority. The spiral process goes on until one opinion prevails. So, how it is applied in real life? Noelle Neumann believes that all of us fear being isolated. We want to feel accepted and respected by others, which makes us agree with other people, at least on the outside. We have a sixth sense, which Noelle Newman called a quasi-statistical organ, that helps us scour the environment and gauge the climate of opinion. It helps us understand what other people are thinking, and thereby provides an idea of the prevailing dominant opinion. Although our perception of the majority view may or may not be true, it alters our own opinions and behaviors, so we at least appear to share the majority view and fit in. In the end, all we want to do is avoid being isolated for not having the right opinion. As more and more people speak out in favor of the perceived majority opinion, it gathers momentum, making it look bigger than it actually is, thus further discouraging our divergent opinions. We see that our opinion is not being voiced publicly by anyone else, so we lose whatever little motivation we might have had to express it. The number of people with divergent opinions speaking up gradually spirals down. Eventually, the other people expressing their opinions are the ones in agreement with the perceived majority opinion. The result of this is that the perceived majority opinion really becomes the majority opinion.
The spiral of silence model. So, in the picture given, the willingness to speak out, and it is going down to silence and then going to fear of isolation. Why is this bad? The spiral of silence theory can also get quite violent. We all know how a minority political party once gained absolute control over a society and led to its destruction, mainly because a large chunk of the population was reluctant to express its dissent. Yes, I'm talking about Nazi in Germany, where most Germans failed to speak up against the horrific decision that eventually led to genocide and war. This begs the question, how do millions of people side with such barbarity? The answer lies in two words: mass media. Going on, how does mass media feed the spiral? The influence that mass media has on our minds is no secret. Almost everything that we know comes from the information we consume through media. It can be called the window through which we see the world, and it teaches us how we must feel about the complex and disorganized picture that we see. In the context of the spiral of silence, mass media molds our perception and thus our climate of opinion by feeding us propaganda. Moreover, it uses words like most and lots in order to dictate our perceptions of the majority opinion. The insights will be: the spiral of silence can cause a social group or society to detach or exclude members based on their opinions. This implies that people are afraid of being themselves as a result of this fear of judgment. People tend to remain silent rather than express their opinions. Ending in conclusion, the spiral of silence theory and its promotion by the media are responsible for its transformation. It aids in understanding what others are thinking, and in doing so, it gives us a sense of the general consensus. Our perceptions of the majority perspective may or may not be accurate, but it changes our own beliefs and actions such that we at least appear to share it. Adding that being afraid of judgment, that's why an individual would rather keep their mouth shut rather to be given some criticism or so much more.